So welcome those of you who've joined. And this is just a 40-50 minute meditation. Invitation for anything that is present here to recognize and to receive the light, the presence of self. So everything is by invite here. And sometimes when we playfully switch the word meditation to invitation, you might find that parts feel a little bit more curious, a little bit more willing to explore what is on offer. So however you've shown up in this space, whatever's present for you, see if you can roll out a welcome mat. See if you can allow yourself to take up a position that really supports your physical body. Just taking a moment to scan from head to toe, readjusting, giving comfort, giving attention to any parts of your body that might need it right now. And the invitation for the next little while is to do nothing. And notice how your inner world responds when there's nothing to do, nothing to be. Nothing to achieve, nothing to strive for. Nothing to heal or fix. Nothing to understand. Nothing to comprehend. Nothing new to learn. If we can simply reside in self, which already has everything that it needs. And so in this moment, nothing is needed. And if that's true for you in this moment, that's great. If this space of nothingness feels comfortable and comforting, if it allows parts to let go of any striving or doing, then that's great. See if you can breathe into this a little deeper. See if you can breathe into the possibility that in this moment, we're not achieving anything because nothing needs to be achieved. And the invitation is to gift yourself this next 40 minutes of not really needing to do anything at all. And really bringing plenty of breath into this being. And if your parts have a hard time with nothingness, see if you can gift them the breath. Let them focus on just a simple rhythm as the self breathes in and out, and just noticing if that is enough by a way of doing. And sometimes we can really hear the parts very loudly when we attempt to just do nothing. It can really start to become very vocal. And see if you can roll out a welcome mat for all of that. See if you can tune into the sense that although there's some activity from the parts, that doesn't take away from the still ground of being within which all of that unfolds. There is still presence of self, even with the parts wanting our attention. Doesn't have to be either or. It can be both and. So the invitation is to tune into this space of both and, where there is no pressure, no need to achieve, to fix, or to heal. The spaciousness of self. Allowing, welcoming, whatever part is wanting to be heard. So that we're not constantly blocking the flow of energy. It comes in, it goes out. And bringing this into the body. See if you can find a sense of nothing, calm and peace, comfort. No need to fix anything in any part of your body. Maybe the fingertips, maybe the toes. Just noticing any parts of the body, any easeful sensing through the body. Where we don't feel propelled to either fix or to block or to withdraw. We're simply being with this openness. And if you found a spot that feels comfortable with not doing anything in particular, the invitation is to start to expand. Expand that area further and further out, including more and more of the body. On the quality, one of the 8 C's of self that we can invite here is calm. See if we can start to perceive calm in just the smallest part of your body and really allowing that to expand. With each breath, letting more and more calm and inviting the possibility that even in the most tense and contracted parts of your body, where you typically feel stress and anxiety, inviting the possibility that just beneath that is the calm of self. And the calm of self is always available to the parts. It's the softest, most welcoming landing place for the parts. Letting these parts now really glimpse the warmth, the softness, the welcoming of self. Noticing any parts of the body that are still fighting against gravity. and allowing them to land softly, received into the warmth and the welcoming of self. Invitation to soften the belly. Invitation to soften the hips. Invitation to let the shoulders draw down. And letting the body be still, anchored in this non-doing. Is there a space where these parts can gently land that feels the most welcoming? Can you receive these parts in your own body? Can they finally be welcome? Can they not be an outcast, an exile anymore? Just like in the Rumi's guest house, allowing them space here now as a sacred guest, as a sacred visitor, honoring. A sense of bowing down, a sense of gratitude. And an invitation to put down any tools of doing. We're human beings, not human doings. And is it possible that in this moment, there's nothing for you to do? Is it possible that peace is already here? That calm is already here, beneath any sense of contraction? And if there are any parts here that have a desire for doing, for fixing, analyzing, meaning making, storytelling, would they be satisfied for a moment just to pay attention to the breath? Is this a good enough offering just for the next 20 minutes? And setting an intention after the meditation to come back to whatever the parts wanted to share. And reassuring the parts that however they show up in this space right now is perfect. And we're also wanting to invite the possibility of letting go of some of these heavy duties, these heavy burdens, and slipping into non-doing, into being. So this isn't a should or a must. This is just an invite. And an image that comes to me is of a part carrying heavy bags in each hand. And this part's been walking for miles, for days, weeks, months, years, with these heavy bags. And in this moment, we're inviting the possibility of just setting aside the bags, all of them or some of them, taking a rest, inviting the possibility that this rest is always available. And the part might have concerns about putting down the bags. Who will carry it if I don't carry it? And see if the part can glimpse self. Self has infinite capacity to carry, hold, absorb, be with anything, absolutely anything. Self is available 24/7. Even when we dream. And the part might think, but what if self gets tired from carrying all of these burdens? And we can reassure any parts that self cannot be tired. Self has infinite capacity, resources. Self gladly takes the bags. Self sees how tired the little arms and the little legs are from walking, and says, here, let me take your bags. I've got this now. Smiling. This isn't a sort of people pleasing or helping to get. This is just effortless, joyful. Self cannot help itself but to be this space within which all of the burdens can be put down and let go of. It's just what it's here for. To witness all of it and to absorb it. And so we can build enough trust to let it do its job, just as gravity can hold our body perfectly. The surface you're sat on can take all of your weight and more. Self can take all the burdens and more. And as the parts lay down some or all of the burdens, let them know that in exchange, they can receive the gifts of self by a way of the 8 C's. And as I recount the 8 C's, see which one feels the most resonant for you right now, for any of the parts. Confidence, creativity, courage, compassion, clarity, curiosity, connectedness, and calm. These are the weightless gifts that are always available to parts. As tools to navigate the inner world and the outer world, leaning into self for compassion, leaning into self for confidence, for curiosity, for calm, for creativity, for connectedness, for clarity. See if in this moment you can, if your body isn't already fully supported by the surface you're sat on, see if you can lean back a bit further. See if you can let your back rest against the back of the chair or the back of the bed. Let your body just flop against, leaning back into the support of self, the support of the surface you're on. Letting it hold you. Remembering you don't have to carry this burden. And taking a breath into this space as you're leaning back. And see if you could invite the possibility of beginning to hear the invitation from self to lean in, to receive the support that is always there, to trust that the parts will be held. We're building a dialogue, building a loving, trusting relationship from parts to self. And we can do this leaning through the body, allowing every cell of the body to draw down. There's no need to fight gravity. We can do this in the images and the visuals that land for us in our mind's eye. Inviting the parts to let go of, to shed any burdens that are here. And there may already be an intellectual knowing that self is always present, that self is the ground of being. And yet the parts can still hold on so tightly through the body. So the invitation is that this practice becomes a marriage, an embodiment of the intellectual knowing and the heart-based sensing. Sometimes the more intellectual, wise parts can very easily get on board with the knowledge that self is the ever-present. And yet the body continues to habitually contract in response to any conflict, any emotional flashback. And so the invitation is to allow this knowing to descend down into the body. finding the smallest space in the body that already feels calm, that already feels at ease with not doing, and then allowing that to expand and build. And see how that shows up for you. Some signs that the body is really letting go. It could be yawning, sighing, sense of tingling, warmth, and more openness in the chest. More ease in the hips. The tummy is soft. The breath is even. And there's no resistance to the gravitational pull for the body to be supported by the earth. But we're going to be drawing the practice to a close soon. If there's any insights or any sensations that you want to bookmark here, see if you can write it into this body, this mind. Park it in a safe place. And if any parts surface that need your help, need self to be closer, be more present, see if you can set an intention to really spend some time with this part after this meditation.